Hi, this is Nikki. Just show you this journal I've made. I was in a private swap. Unfortunately, it was about a year ago I received mine, and I explained to the lady I was swapping with that just started a new job and things were happening, and but eventually I've got around to it. I've not forgotten her, and she knows I've not forgotten her. I've used a altered book for my journal. So this was a book of light verse, and as you can see it was really faded. The book's over 100 years old and it was dropping to bits, and as you can see, as I say, that's so faded compared to the rest of the book. I like the cover so much with this sort of gilding bit here, and so I've only put, as you can see, a bit of trim. This was off a piece of embroidery on the back of a jacket, so I've used that, and I've just kept it really simple. The theme of the albums was sort of Edwardian, the Edwardian era, so I've tried to select things that go with that theme. This was just a printout of a beautiful lady which I really liked, with her big hat and her very thin waist, and so with a piece of scrapbook paper I've just made a pocket here, and then I've tucked a few little bits inside. This is a piece of scrapbook paper I had, which I absolutely adore, with the peacock's feathers and the gold crown on, and this was like a little bit left over and I just couldn't bring myself to throw it away, so I just tucked it in there. This was a tiny fragment of really old lace as well that I had, and it'd be the type of thing ladies used to save. So what I did was I trimmed it all the way around. It was only, you know, like half a piece bigger than that, and so I just saved that, and sort of not a rosette, but it sort of looks like a little embellishment, doesn't it? This was a piece of beautiful scrapbook paper I have, so I cut out that to make like the book plate at the beginning of the book. So this is all the original book. Here's another picture I downloaded, that was from Pinterest, and I just backed it, and I've used a bit of bling here. This was from Prima, and I just like the colours because it's like mixed black and silver, and it makes it look old looking, if you like. So this is an original page from the book, about the poets that were originally in the book, and so I've left that, and this is where my signatures start. I've done 3 signatures, and so this was the first one, and I've put this paper in here just to hide where the join is. This was the first page of the book, and as you can see, 1910, so over 100 years old, and this page was actually loose, so what I did was I attached it to the first page of my signature, which I've used this petalled vellum, and so it still is the first page, but it's just attached to another piece of paper now. I've selected, as I said, scrapbook paper and images and things that I thought went with that Edwardian feel, and I've done a little bit of stamping on some of the coffee and tea dyed paper throughout the book. I also had some bits of vellum, and this is just a piece of like glassine paper. I love that image with the birds, and as you can see, it was the same scrapbook paper that the first bit that I cut out came from, that. And I just thought they were so pretty, and there is quite a few birds in here I noticed, and bird cages and things. So just where that joins that piece of scrapbook paper, I just decorated it with an offcut of scrapbook paper there. Some more pretty papers. There were some really gorgeous papers, and what I did here, I made a little folded piece where you could keep a secret letter or a secret note, and tied it with ribbon. In this case though, I put one of the poems from the book, which was all about love, and so I sort of tucked it in there so it was like hidden away secretly. And then here's just a little poem about spring. And as I said, it's quite a few birds and things. There's a little image there, like a little photo. That's actually a rub-on, Le Blanche, isn't it? And I thought that she sort of went with the image. And then I just did some corner punching there just to fancy that up a bit. Here I've done another little fold out bit where you could keep something secret, and I've just put half a doily and just decorated it with a bit of ribbon there, a bit of organza. And so we're on the other side of the signature now. Is just an offcut from a piece of scrapbook paper that I'd dyed, and so what I did was I left it like that with another little place to put a secret message. Some more bird images, a bit more of that trim there that I thought looked quite nice inside. A little thing here about birds, and so I've put a couple of little feathers in there that the person who had the book might save. And then here behind there I've left that open, and I've just tucked a little image there that I've put on a tag that I thought she was really beautiful, so I've put that in there too. Some more poetry from the book, another piece of vintage trim, more paper, and then we're into the next signature now. So I've made a little tuck spot here with some beautiful paper, and then in there's like an order for a chemist, which I've just backed on some card because it's quite flimsy. Some more paper here. I've layered the paper and made a little pocket, so I've put a beautiful plain card in there, but the back I thought was pretty and went with the theme. And then took an image of a train, which again I've just backed because again that was a bit of a flimsy image. And there, this is I think this might be from a Joanna Sheen CD, but just a beautiful little girl with a big basket of flowers. Paper, more coffee dyed paper, some more birdcage paper, and here there's a secret spot here where I've just put a journaling card that just happens to be a bird theme, so that hides in there. There's the rest of that, some of that paper, which I think is just glorious. And so underneath there I've made a little tuck spot where I've got a couple of old tickets, which I thought were quite cute, so I've pushed them in there and they're quite well hidden. And then in here another poem about birds, or you could obviously put something over the top of that if you didn't like it. A nice piece of vellum, more coffee dyed paper. This was a beautiful piece of scrapbook paper that I just loved, and I thought that was so beautiful, so I used that. And the back of that was all silhouettes, which again was quite a traditional thing. This again, another image of a pretty lady, and here's one of a sailor and a man and a young boy. Here's another one of those labels, and I've just attached that to an envelope which I made out of a dictionary page. And then inside the envelope I've just tucked an advert for hats. Look at the size of that hat. I mean, goodness me, that must have been having like half a house stuck on your head. Here's some a small piece of Anna Griffin paper, which is just glorious, just beautiful colours. The other side of the vellum, more scrapbook paper, another poem. there's the bottom of that trim, which I think that might be the very last piece I've got. So I've just put it along there. It doesn't serve any other purpose other than to look pretty. So more coffee dyed paper. Here's another little rub on. Again, a lady with a huge hat on, like the size of a horse box. Just a little coffee dyed tag and an image of a stag, which I thought was really sweet. Some more of the poetry from the original book, and then we're into the last signature now. Some more vellum, more pretty papers, just a Kool-Aid dyed paper there with some darker lace on. Now somebody gifted me this in a swap, I think it was, and it's like on printed on, I don't know if it's greaseproof paper or glassine paper, but it's got that lovely crunchy feel to it. So I've used that as a pocket, and then in here I've got some more poetry, which I've backed on just a plain piece of paper, so that when it's behind there, it doesn't ruin the image. But obviously you could tuck anything you wanted in there, but I thought that was quite nice. More different scrapbooking papers. What did I do here? Some more scrunchy paper with say music paper with bird cage image on. We get more of this. These are original. These are original Edwardian stamps that I've got, so I use those. Put those in just for a little bit of interest. I like these two chaps here. They're pretty dapper out on the town, so I put those in. Hope she likes them. This is another just piece of lace, just a tiny little offcut I'd got left that just fitted on that page, so I could use that just to decorate it. And on this side made a little tuck spot, and there's just some coffee dyed paper, and these are Edwardian picture frames that I've cut out for her, and I was just going to pop them in there if she does something with them. If she doesn't really matter then. I think that's about it. I think you've seen everything apart from this glorious piece of vellum, which I thought was really Art Nouveau-ish, which obviously was around that time. So I put that in. Just so pretty, such pretty things. And this is where the insert then joins back into the book cover, and I've just put an old map. And at the back here, this is just another one of those rub-ons that I thought was so pretty, so I just put that in the back. And as I said, the back cover I've just left plain. So I'll be putting that in the post to her, and I'll put this video up once I know she's got it. Please feel free to leave any comments or ask any questions. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.